This fire started around 3:30 this afternoon. Now, at the time of the fire, there were 6 homes threatened.
Because of the drought, they've had to increase patrolling their lines from once a year to about every 6 months.
Hours of searching on tribal lands and here in Alturas, but the boys haven't been found.
The creek has since gone down, but she says at one point the water was flowing above this blue pipe.
District attorney has told me that they are investigating this as a homicide. He now has to make a decision by the end of the year. Does he want to register with the Department of Justice or modify it? From doctors to breast cancer survivors, speakers are stressing the importance of early detection. The U.S. Forest Service says there was so much trash that they had to haul it away in their U.S. military landing craft. The woman's husband found her cell phone and earbuds near the road down the street from their house. Archers shot at 70 different targets at different distances, and people came from all over. They have a boat using side sonar scanning, another boat operating their ROV, and they have their dive team. I'm gonna try and make a heart-shaped pancake right now on this side of the grill. Oh yeah, look it. I think my pancake beats yours. What do you think?
I think it's pretty good.
This is all my mom and I have.
Michelle Heffley and her mom own the Wonderland Tavern. On Monday, their bar flooded.
And Mother Nature is very powerful.
Michelle put sandbags around the building, but that didn't stop the water.
Water was spewing up like little geysers in between the tiles where they butt together.
To give you a better idea of just how high the creek rose, fast-flowing water completely covered this bridge.
My jaw just dropped. It was right there. It was right there on my step.
After the water receded, it left behind an inch of mud.
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
She can't afford to pay for cleaning or to fix the damage, so she put on her tool belt and went to work.
I have to reopen. I have to make money to be able to fix things, and I don't know. I don't know, where do you go from here is what I feel.
But she's not alone. Standing behind her are dedicated customers.
You know, it's almost like a big family in here. She's working away down here by herself, so I felt like, gee, she needs a hand.
Helping her to open sooner rather than later.
I love this bar.
And I was like, that's the guy. So it was, and then we ended up like calling the police.
Griffin Berry lives in the quiet and remote town of Cecilville. He says Tad Cummins and Elizabeth Thomas showed up a week ago.
And he was saying he was from Colorado, and he said he had a house fire and he got fired from his job, and he was like, he had his last $10 or whatever, so I was like, I gave him $40 and put some gas in his tank and whatnot.
Cummins told Berry he was 44 and that Thomas, who called herself Joanna, was 22. Berry tells me Cummins was headed for a commune founded in the 60s, Black Bear Ranch. Apparently, it didn't work out, and Cummins showed up once again.
He came back, and he was like, I was like, I can help you out, I got a little bit of work, so we were like trying to move rocks up here and all that.
The duo stayed in this cabin. While they were there, people started to notice that something was off.
She spoke very few words, and he would try and like talk for her a lot. He was clearly like keeping her separate.
Berry called the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office, and on Thursday morning, Berry helped law enforcement with their plan to catch him.
And I was driving by trying to like push him out, but they're like, drive by and honk the horn.
Cummins came out and was arrested without any problems.
I'm glad that I got the help do that. I guess I'm glad he came out here and I got the help.
I'm coming, honey. I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can. And I love you.
Keith Papini came home last Wednesday, and his wife, Sherry Papini, was nowhere to be found.
In normal days, I would open the door and my family comes and runs and gives me a hug.
But there were no welcoming hugs. So he searched in the house and their property, but learned the children were still at daycare. He found Sherry's phone down the street.
That's when I knew she had been, in my opinion, taken or abducted.
Now, days later, family, friends, the community, and law enforcement are still looking for Sherry.
It's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst thing ever.
Time going by slowly, and their children don't know their mother is missing.
It's hard waiting, you know, you're waiting for a phone call, you're waiting for something to tell us, you know, this is the direction, or this is the house, or this is the car, and that is very difficult right now.
But Keith is determined to find her.
If she was listening, I wanted to say that we're trying, and we're trying the best we can, and I'm so sorry that I'm not there.
The family believes she was abducted and has this message.
Bring her home. Bring her home. Just bring her home. Bring her home safe. There's a $50,000 reward. Bring her home.
Welcome back. Well, it was an active day for Northern California. Here's a look at Storm Tracker 7. You can really see this system brushing through our region. As we go throughout the evening hours, we are struggling once again to make it into the low 80s. We're looking at 82 degrees by 4 o'clock this morning. Now, we do still have that red flag warning in effect, and this is because of those dry conditions as well as those gusty conditions. Here's a look at your Pacific satellite, that storm system pushing its way east, and this is probably my favorite part of the forecast. We are warming up by the weekend, and I'm talking about triple-digit heat. It's going to tap into some subtropical moisture, and that's what's going to bring the chance for rain once again on Tuesday. But as we go into Monday, this is when we start to see that cool down. We start off in the low 60s and then the low 90s. We have this cutoff low that's pushing its way down south, and you can see from the greens now that's cooler air, and that's where we're seeing those colder temperatures. But watch as we go in through Tuesday, we start to see the oranges over our region, and that means we're going to warm up just a little bit. So we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's forecast for the higher elevations, 43 degrees for Weaverville and 44 for Lewiston. And just off to the coast, we do have this trough approaching the North State, and all that's going to do is bring us a slight drop in temperatures. Tomorrow morning, if you plan on heading outside, you might want to bundle up. We're looking at 32 degrees for Redding. And this one right here, increasing risk for hypothermia. Although it might be extremely hot outside, the waterways are still very cold. All right, so there's also a red flag warning, and that goes into effect tonight until tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. And that's because we have these extremely hot temperatures, but then also those breezy conditions. So for the valley, we're expecting gusts between 20 and 25 miles per hour, and in the mountains, gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll take a look at your First Alert 7-day forecast and just how hot it will get. Noel?